Hello again, this is Bill Jones with recapturefederalism.com. Recapture Federalist Papers 51. recapturefederalism.com. I'm talking to you, it's a little different presentation. I've done 150 presentations. This is a little different than I normally do. I'm going to plead with we the people, family, friends, we the people. And you've seen the title already. If I die or disappear, continue on. It's a pretty solemn title, isn't it? Let me get into it. I filed in January 25th, 2016, I filed 91-page notice of treason to 7 people. Didn't hear from them. And so on Saturday, September, I guess it'd be the 3rd, I sent 2 complaints out, one to the FBI and one to the Illinois State Police, regarding complaints regarding overthrow of government, treason. It's dangerous to do. We have a Democratic Party committing genocide since 1973, committing crimes against humanity for decades now, an insurrection going on. And what really pisses me off, you know, it's bad enough that me and my wife and loved ones are enslaved. My 2 daughters are enslaved, adult daughters. What really pisses me off, son of a bitches have enslaved my grandkids. Well, yours too. Yours too. We're all being enslaved. We're all being enslaved. I got the graphic up. I came up with this graphic a couple years ago. The silent, secret American insurrection and revolutionary movement graphic. Yeah, self-explanatory. Communist criminal class, that's the 2 political party supremacy. And I'm not going to get into it too deep. I'm going to get into the complaints that I filed. Because 91 pages, this is the 91st page of that notice of treason, January 25th. Let me continue on with the complaints. This is the start of the complaint. I filed 2 complaints, as I said. We'll get into that. On January 25th, 2016, I sent 91-page notice of treason to 7 governmental officials listed below. I've not heard from any one of them. Is this treason or is this misprision of treason, or both? This is from the title page, page 1 of Notice of Treason. Notice of Treason, 18 U.S.C., Chapter 115, Treason, Sedition, and Subversion. Notice of treason against the United States and all 50 states, 18 U.S.C., Chapter 115, Section 2382. And it was sent to John Roberts. The first four people, I filed a complaint with the FBI. Those are federal public servants, crooked public servants. John Roberts, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. Paul Ryan, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Mitch McConnell, Majority Leader of United States Senate. James Comey, Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, Mr. Comey, by the way, it's January 25th, 2016. It's before his decision. Hillary didn't have any intent. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but Mr. Comey is, I believe, violating seditious conspiracy by not following through on the law and charging her with violations of federal law, Espionage Act, and all that kind of stuff. But the first four were Federal Bureau of Investigation. Then there were the next three: Bruce Rauner, Governor of the State of Illinois; Rita B. Gardman, Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court; and Leo Smits, Director of the Illinois State Police. Now, I didn't expect really to hear from five of these people. But the director of the FBI and Leo Smits, Director of the Illinois State Police, I thought I would hear from them. They're police officers, they're being law enforcement people, being targeted by the Communist Party, communist. Section 8 of the Guidelines of the Communist Party, 1921. But I continue on from July 25th. Notice: I, William R. Jones, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, so help me God. I first took that oath in July 1965 when I joined the United States Navy. The enemy then was communism. The enemy is now communism. I'm a Vietnam veteran, Cold War warrior, Vietnam veteran. Fought communism. 1969 over in Vietnam, Tonkin Gulf. The enemy was communism, as it is now. The Vietnam War is still going on. It is not over. There has never been a resolution. We just left. We just left. Picked up our toys and left. Korean War. Ceasefire since 1953. We're still there. The communists are still there. 1969, they killed 31 aircrew, 30 Navy, 1 Marine, Sea of Japan, international waters. Yeah, communists did that. No justice, no peace. We didn't do anything. I was on ship. We went over there, showed the flag. No justice, no peace. Then I continue on my complaint. This is all part of 91 pages, but we're going to see what we get by filing a formal complaint with the Illinois State Police and the FBI. And this is the law that's involved. The federal law, 18 U.S.C. Chapter 115. Misprision of treason. This is what I filed under. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States and having knowledge of The commission of any treason against them conceals and does not, as soon as may be, disclose and make known the same to the President, or to some judge in the United States, or to the governor, or some judge or justice of a particular state, is guilty of misprision of treason and shall be fined under this title, or imprisoned not more than 7 years, or both. So, Chief Justice Roberts, a federal judge. Under the Constitution, treason is handled. Trial of treason is handled by the Congress, and that's why I sent that to Mr. Ryan and Mr. McConnell, and I thought I would go to FBI, have them investigate. They could then go, if they were to investigate, they then could go to a judge. They wouldn't go to the Attorney General because she's a Democrat and she's a communist. And that's why I didn't bother sending it to the President, because he's a communist too. Yeah, commit treason. Now the state, oh man, the state's got misprision of treason also. Look at this. The Illinois Compiled Statutes, 720, 530-2, from Chapter 38, Paragraph 30-2, which was the previous prior to the Illinois Compiled Statutes. They had books and they compiled them together and come up with the new laws, new codification. Section 30-2, misprision of treason. A person owing allegiance to the state commits misprision of treason when he or she knowingly conceals or withholds his or her knowledge that another has committed treason against this state. Sentence: misprision of treason is Class 4 felony. Class 4 felony. So there we are. That's my giving notice of treason. I believe there's treason going on. So you have to tell people. Nobody's telling people. I think I'm the only one in the country telling people. That's fine. Hell, a little respect. Come back to me, go to hell, or tell me go to hell, or follow through on it. No, it is silence, silence, silence. Also, 91 pages. This is one of the areas from the page 26 of the Communist Manifesto. And this is where you're going to get treason. If you nothing else, just the next two paragraphs, you just go off of them, because they say and they admit what they are all about. Page 26, the Communist Manifesto. There are, besides eternal truths such as freedom, justice, etc., there are common to all states of society. Then highlighted in red. But communism abolishes eternal truth and it abolishes all religion and all morality. And red highlight. Instead of constituting them on a new basis, it therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. Historical experience with communism is murder, enslavement, mass killings. Yeah. Genocide, such as we have with the abortion is genocide. Crimes against humanity. It abolishes all eternal truths, such as freedom and justice. And enslaves people. Eternal truth, and abolishes all religion. So it's anti-Semitic, anti-Christian. It abolishes all religion and all morality. As George Washington said in the George Washington Farewell Address in 1796, you can't have morality without religion. That's where you get it from. So they abolish all that, so they're operating under the 7 deadly sins. Violations of the eternal truth, which is the 10 commandments, God commandments, and authority from God, a government authority from God. That's Romans 13. That's where previous graphic. Yeah. And the big confidence game the communists have, and they have had this since 1848, and in this country 1856 with the Democratic platform, which I'm not going to show you and get into. But when they say democracy, we're not a democracy. And it's a confidence game because it's not a flowing document. The Constitution's not a flowing document. It's based upon Romans 13, 2,000 years old. Yeah. And the 7 deadly sins. And here we get page 34 of the Communist Manifesto. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and the agreement of democratic parties of all countries. I'm going to show you a little bit about democratic parties of all countries because it's a worldwide communist thing. But everywhere for the union and agreement of democratic parties. And I said the insurrection of 1886, workers of the world, working men of all countries unite. And that's when they united May 4th, 1886, when they threw a dynamite bomb and killed 7 Chicago police officers. And they've been uniting ever since, killing police officers, enslaving people. They finally labor everywhere for the union and agreement of democratic parties of all countries. Communists disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare that their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. That the ruling classes tremble at the communistic revolution. Yeah, communistic revolution. The revolutionary movement is what I was talking about. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Now, working men of all countries unite. So here they admit they are forcibly overthrowing all existing social conditions. That social conditions is societies, governments, everything. It's a totalism, totalitarianism, political party supremacy. And that's what they're overthrowing. They're going to get overthrow a republic, compound republic of the United States, and replace it with a communistic, through a communistic revolution, you end up with a communist country. Ruling classes tremble. They're terrorists. I can spit it out, Bill. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. The Democratic Party are terrorists. I don't care what they say. They're lying Hillary. She just lies with a straight face and got her vice president candidate, lies with a straight face. Oh yeah. Progressivism is communism also. And we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm going to finish out with the Progressive Alliance. 18 U.S.C. Chapter 115, there's treason, sedition, subversive activities. There's 8 or 9. And I'm only going to go through 2385, advocating overthrow of government. Back in the 60s, Jane Fonda here, she was never charged with treason. She should have been. She still can be. She's still a treasonous, still a socialist communist. Also, have people going to ISIS, they should be being charged with these crimes. Crimes still on the books. Enlistment to serve against the United States, recruiting of service against the United States. But I'll get into that later. That's all part of the 91 pages, by the way. Treason. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, having given them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title but not less than $10,000 and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. $10,000. This is the 1909 law. The $10 was upgraded back in the 40s or something, I don't know. Anyway, then we have, that's treason. By the way, shall suffer death. See this? Shall suffer death. Shall suffer death. Jane Fonda, when she was on that anti-aircraft gun, when she come back to the United States, should have been charged with treason and should have been executed. Geraldo Rivera at Fox News, same thing. He was, what they say, freedom of press, freedom of speech. You'll see where there's a limitation to freedom of speech when it comes to treason. Misprision of treason, we've already gone over that. So if you're aware that there's treason and you don't say there's treason, then you're committing treason, aren't you? Aren't you? Rebellion or insurrection, here we go. I did a piece, did a presentation. Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore. Insurrections, rebellions, insurrections. Watts riots, 1965. Los Angeles riots, the King riots in 68, and then the King riots in 92. Yeah. Whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both, or shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Man. Yeah. Black Lives Matter, that's insurrection, rebellion. Yeah. Getting in the face of police. Yeah. Seditious conspiracy, here we go. 2,400 people killed in Chicago. Gangs from the 60s, still gangs in the 60s. Don't force the gun laws. Don't force the gun laws. Jesse Jackson, Farrakhan. Father Flager, Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Chicago. Seditious conspiracy. Seditious conspiracy. If two or more persons in any state or territory or any place subject to the jurisdiction of the United States conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy by force the government of the United States, or levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay execution of any law of the United States, or by force to seize, take, or possess any property of the United States contrary to the authority thereof, shall each be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years of both. Now, this law, seditious conspiracy, and the important one, part of this, it's all important, but a little extra importance is the prevent, hinder, or delay in execution of any law of the United States. The communists do not recognize countries or country borders. So we've had now decades of preventing, hindering, or delaying execution of laws on our southern border. How many politicians ought to be tried for treason and seditious conspiracy? Everybody who's been in office. Then you got sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities. They're preventing, hindering, and delaying executing the federal immigration laws under the Constitution of the United States. And the gun laws and all this. Murder. The city of Chicago. The enslavement of people of color in the city of Chicago and all your urban areas. Yeah. And yet they'll vote for Democrats and vote for the masters. And then we get advocating the overthrow of government, 2385. Whoever knowingly, willfully advocates, abets, advises, teaches their duty, necessity, desirability, propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein by force or violence, or by the assassination of any officer of any such government. There's your police. There's your police being assassinated. That's advocating the overthrow of government. Your newspapers, media, Hollywood, lobbyists. Yeah. It goes right back to, they want to terrorize people. Ruling class. Have a ruling class tremble. In the United States, that's we the people. Whoever with intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any such government prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly display any written or printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, desirability, propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government, the United States by force or violence or attempts to do so. Or, wow, that's a bunch of words, ain't it? That's your public media, your pro-communist public media, Section 6 of the Guidelines of the Communist Party 1921, Party Press and Media. Or whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage overthrow, destruction of any government by force or violence, or is a member of or affiliates with any such society, group, or assembly of persons knowing the purpose thereof, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, or shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department, agency thereof for 5 years next following his conviction. Wow. Whoever organizes or attempts to organize any society group, the President of the United States, Barack H. Obama, before he was elected president, and since he's been elected president, has been organizing, was a communist community organizer. Treason. Then they go in the next paragraph, 2 persons conspire to commit any offense. It's another charge. So the party, there's more than 2 people in the party, isn't there? Yeah. It's used in this section the terms organizes and organize with respect to any society, group, or assembly of persons include the recruiting of new members, forming of new units, and the regrouping and expansion of existing clubs, classes, and other units of such society, group, or assembly of persons. So they're organizing These political parties, by the way, they are criminal enterprises. They are criminal. They're violating law, aren't they? They're criminal enterprises, and so people who are donating to them are also advocating the overthrow of government. Lobbyists. Getting back to misprision of treason, lawyers aren't they trained about the Constitution? Article 3, Section 3, that's treason. Don't they study this law? These laws? Don't they understand that there's treason going on? Well, we ought to disbar all the lawyers, every one of them. Oh, and here comes the state statutes. State statutes. 720, Article 30, heading. Article 30, treason and related offenses. There's 3. 30-1, treason, the person owing allegiance to the state commits treason when he or she knowingly levies war against this state or adheres to the enemies of the state, giving them aid or comfort. No person may be convicted of treason except the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on his confession in open court. That's doing things secretly, but if you do things that is publicly seen, and millions of people are seeing this overthrow of the government by the Democratic Party. Sentence. Treason is a Class X felony for which an offender may be sentenced to death under Section 553 of the Uniform Code of Corrections. Unified Code of Corrections. Then we have misprision of treason, which I already stated earlier. And then we have 30-3, which is advocating the overthrow of government. This is the state level. Treason at the state level. I guess you can go die twice. Federal level and the state level. This is Illinois. Other states have other statutes, codifications. All of them have codes or in their constitution treason. All of them. All 50 republics. Advocating the overthrow of government. State of Illinois, a person who advocates or with knowledge of its contents knowingly publishes, sells, or distributes any document which advocates or with knowledge of its purpose knowingly becomes a member of any organization which advocates the overthrow or reformation of existing form of government of this state by violence or unlawful means commits Class 3 felony. Okay? Any document, media, pro-communist media. And this completes the complaint that I filed with the FBI and the Illinois State Police. Yeah, you think somebody's going to want to come after me? Got a $20 trillion debt that people have made money off of. And I want to put a stop to it. You think somebody wants to come after my ass? I think so. Crimes against humanity, genocide, assassination of a public official. By the way, everybody in this, we the people in the state of Illinois is a public person. Every person, every able-bodied person is a member of the Illinois militia, according to the Constitution of the state of Illinois. Well, I wanted to progressive line. Progressive is progressivism, liberation, progressive just a term used politically, is communism. And I'm not going to get into it deeply what it is, the history behind that, but it is communism. And there's a progressive alliance. This is all really since Obama's democratic communist taken power in the United States have really ramped this up. And he's gone, he's visited relationships with Cuba, a communist country. Vietnam, he met with the president of Vietnam, which we're still at war with. Laos, and he was over in Laos, he may be still in Laos yesterday. Communist country, still communist country, all these years. Now, there's a progressive alliance, which is a worldwide communist alliance. And I did a presentation, it's on YouTube, I forget the title of it. I did so many of these, 150 of them, presentations. I forget which ones I did and when I did it and the title of them. I have to go check the index. But Progressive Alliance, you're going to go down this list, and I went down, named all the countries and what have you. And there's Canada, for instance, New Democratic Party. They're all associated with world communism. World communism. Whoops, Brazil. I want to go to Brazil here. Since I did this last, talked about this, Brazil, here in the last week or so, their president, who is a member of the Workers' Party, PT, there's also there's alliance with the Brazilian Socialist Party, but the impeached president was a member of the Workers' Party, a Communist Party. So you had the Rio de Janeiro Olympics down there, and all this corruption that went on. And she was impeached. And we go a little farther down. We get to the eyes. This is interesting, the eyes here. Iran. Now, the president cuts a deal with the Iranians. And look at the Democratic Party of the Iranian Kurdistan, the Kamala Party of Iranian Kurdistan, and the Kamala Party of Kurdistan. Then there's Iraq. There's two parties there. Now, it's world communism. This is social democratic parties, socialist parties. None of them say they're communist. They'll admit that they're communists, but there are. They are. And what do you have in Israel? There's a Labor Party. The Labor Party, that's the party that's opposed to Benny Netanyahu. Yeah. So they are working against the Prime Minister of Israel. Working against the Prime Minister. You know why? Because let's go down to P. Let's go down to P. Palestine. The Fatah and the Palestinian National Initiative. Oh, initiative. Boy, Clinton Global Initiative. Wow. I wonder if he's related in there. Well, we'll just have to maybe have FBI investigate that too. Palestine. They're dealing, well, wait a minute. Bill, you're talking Democratic Party. Yeah, we're going to get down to you because in the United States, U.S. of A., the Democratic Party's involved in it. Palestinian. These are the successors to the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO, Liberation, Communist. And then we go to Turkey. Turkey, they just had the attempted coup d'etat, some say a false flag, which I have a tendency to believe, in Turkey. Their crackdown. Republican People Party, CHP, from Turkey. The Democratic Party. Now, you have the Democratic Party, USA. Look at that, Democratic Party, USA, Democratic Party, World Communism, Democratic Party, Progressive Alliance. So you have all these people, progressives, socialists, Democrats, who are voting for Hillary Clinton, who's committing treason, along with her husband, who committed genocide, or ordered genocide, in 1993, Waco, Texas. Hillary was a co-president. I got my Constitution out. There's no co-president. Illegally co-president. Now, if she was co-president, is she then under the 22nd Amendment ineligible? I don't know. She ought to be ineligible because she's a crook. And with that, I will be gone. And if something happens to me, you need to carry on because we need to free our grandkids who are enslaved by world communism.